Hello and welcome to Cactus Abe's Garage. How are you doing today? Now in this episode we're going to focus all on this beauty, because sadly the Golf Mark IV has to wait outside a bit in the cold. But that's how it is. So we are going to prepare the engine bay and interior for the bracing that needs to take place prior to us cutting out the firewall and floor. So steering rack has to go, and all of the interior bits, seats, rubber floor mat, and this bracing might get in the way, so I am going to cut it. Anyway, that's the plan for today. If time allows, we might even just hook up the new turbo on the engine just to see what it looks like. This actually has a new CRHA, so this isn't even bad. This is only just 1,000, 2,000 kilometers on it. I also would like some input before we begin with this. I am pretty keen on repainting this, because this Caddy is going to be painted in this color, and frankly I don't think orange will do it. I don't know if the camera can pick it up correctly, but this is actually Chevy engine orange, Chevy orange, which I thought would look cool in my white Caddy Mark II, but in a blue Mark I, nah, not so much. So, if you have any ideas on what color I should paint this in, let me know in the comments, because I am leaning all kind of places. I mean, just regular black, like a industrial engine, you know, light beige, just something. I don't know, but I don't want orange. So yeah, help me out. On another note, I mentioned this is going to get painted. Now that has been a heavy subject in my head, because I want to do things properly. I mean, if I'm going to paint it, I want an immaculate paint job, because that's just how I am. I am a perfectionist at heart. So that's where this door comes in, because this had a bit of rust. I'm going to sell this Mondeo, and this had a bit of rust which I wanted to take care of before, and this was also going to be a good test for me to try out spraying paint, water-based paint with a spray gun. And if I may say so myself, the result is actually very good. The only thing I forgot, that's only a fingerprint, that's not a blemish in the paint. The only thing I forgot was to purchase a water separation filter. So yeah, I have a few fish eyes in this, but no one's going to notice it because this is going to be vertical. So yeah, but that makes me really excited to paint this car later, because now I know I can do it. If that was my first attempt, I can only imagine how this will look. So yeah, but enough of me just blabbering about. Let's get to it. You know, the previous owner was kind of nice, because he left me these high-tech Wi-Fi seats that you only need to imagine removing them, and then you can remove them. See? Really easy. If you remember to fold the back first. Let's see if this is also Wi-Fi. Nope, it was not. Oh, look, a long bolt. That could come in handy. So, now that we have all the flammable stuff out of the way, I mean, the sound deadening is still here, but that probably isn't that flammable since this is aluminium foil, so, and this probably isn't that flammable either since it's like tar. So, the plan of attack. When you are about to do something like this that I'm doing, it doesn't have to be to swap the floor from one car to another. If you have to fix some rust and you decide that replacing the whole floor pan is easier, then you have to do what I'm about to do. You can't just cut it out, drop it and put the new one in place and weld it in, because you're going to warp the body. You can warp it, you know, twist it like this, or you can even make it sag. For instance, this is something that might happen if you don't brace it enough or at all, depending on how much you need to cut out from the body shell. You won't be able to close the door, no matter how much you try. And after all that work, don't you think that would kinda suck? I think so. So you need to brace it. And my plan of attack here is, well, I don't really have a plan of attack. If there are any engineers watching or someone who have prior knowledge to how to do this, I'm going to brace the shit out of this. And that's for two reasons. One, I've never done anything like this before, so I rather go overboard and brace too much than too little. And second, my middle name is kinda Mr. Overkill, so I tend to always overkill anything I do. So yeah. Before we measure, cut and weld in the braces, we first need to prep the surfaces by grinding them down to bare metal. The driver's side B-pillar had some sound deadening that was much more fresh and gooey, and the flappy disc on the grinder just smeared it around. So out the heat gun came to remove it entirely. And with that taken care of, we can now turn our attention to these, which will be our bracing. And for that I have this brand new Makita metal circular saw. I think they actually call it a portable cutoff. Anyway, we're going to use this because I do not trust myself with the grinder to make an accurate straight and not a wobbly cut. Perhaps I could, but I have a feeling that my channel is going to evolve to more heavier undertakings like this Caddy. So why not purchase this and have it done? Anyway, let's start measuring and cutting. Hot damn, this tool makes it easy. I love this already. You and me, we're going to have a good time. Right then, let the bracing begin. What? So, it's now the day after, and after making the cross section yesterday, I realized I had really underestimated how much tubing would be needed, because I had originally purchased 10 meters of it. Well, today I went and bought another 28 meters because I realized something after doing said cross section, and that is, since I want to swap out the suspension towers, firewall and floor all at the same time, I need to brace the front end while swapping it out, otherwise it will just sag down. So how do I do that? I can't brace through the firewall, because then I need to cut up the other firewall from the Golf. If I cut this one up, it doesn't matter, but the other one does. Well, my solution is to remove the windshield, since it's already going to be removed when it's time for painting, and run some bars through the windshield area to the front of the Caddy and brace it to make sure it doesn't sag 1 millimeter once I cut everything out. To remove the windshield, you just need some prying tools in plastic or otherwise soft material, and then just start prying the rubber seal on the inside. I decided that the corner was a good place to start. It felt wrong to exert the amount of force needed to pop the windshield out. I really felt like I was going to break it for sure, but it held. Now, there are other methods of removing the windshield, but I do not have that equipment, so I will not cover that here. Sorry, I forgot to turn the camera on when doing this side, but it was just a rinse and repeat from the other side. Just use, just use an interior plastic bendy bit, which I did in the corner over there, and I just did the same here and another spot right here, and it came loose. Then you can lift it up from the bottom. All right, this is the progress so far. In the end here, I had to only tack weld every new part, those two small ones, because I ran out of gas. So I have to pick that up tomorrow. But these are at different angles. I had to use the last bits and bobs I had left from this 40 by 40 millimeter square tubing. Kinda happy that they were out of the 20 by 20 because I didn't really foresee this beforehand, but looking at it now, the front end should be kept from sagging. I have 2 more rods to install, 20 millimeters round tubing like that one, from there to there and there to there. Then I'm going to use the last 40 by 40 to strengthen between here. But I will do that off camera because, as I said, I'm out of gas at the moment, so it was fairly hard to weld the last pieces now. But yeah, all in all, good progress. Now we need to go home and get some sleep. What do you think of the stands, by the way? I actually think this will be the new track width. Well, perhaps not quite this much, but the Golf Mark IV is wider. So I don't know how wide, but this is how wide the Caddy Mk1 is, and this is how wide the Golf Mark IV is. So it is going to be wider, that's for sure. I do like the look of this. And just some bigger flares around here, which I will fabricate in metal. Never done that either, but looking forward to it. So yeah, now the door has dried up and I have tossed it back on the car. So that means the Ford can get out of here and the Golf can move in, so we can start disassembling the interior and do minimal bracing in that one to cut the floor out, because it only needs to hold up to the junkyard when I'm done. So some bracing will be required, but not that much. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Have a good one. See you in the next one.